Beyond the Broom with the NSA, sharing information, innovations, and market trends shaping the commercial cleaning industry. We sweep away the noise to bring you the insights that matter.
All right, we're back. Debbie, how we doing today?
Doing great, Ryan. How about you?
Doing great. Looking forward to another episode of the Beyond the Broom podcast with the NSA. Just wanted to jump on here quick. We did a market commentary update last week and sent it out to all the members. So just wanted to jump on, kind of give a recap of that, kind of go from there.
Yeah, I think that's great. Just keeping everybody updated on what's going on and how things are impacting their day-to-day supplies and decisions that they're making with their business.
Yeah, it's a special day today too, isn't it?
Isn't it? It is. Today is National Podcast Day. National
so
Podcast Day. I know, very exciting that we're recording today. And I was doing a little research just out of curiosity. There are over 4 million podcasts that are out there. I can't believe that number, but I said that just kind of makes us like this little speck in the universe, right? We're 1 in 4 million podcasts that are out there.
That seems like a lot of podcasts.
But it is nice though. I saw that a lot of them only last like 3 or 4 episodes, and then they call it podcast fade, and they're gone. So we bucked the trend, and this is episode 7 for us. So we're already over the danger point, I think.
Well, let's jump in it. So with the market commentary we sent out, just kind of give a backdrop here. Last week, there were 218,000 jobless claims for weekly unemployment. That was down from the prior week at 232,000. I think most economists were expecting somewhere around the 235,000 claim mark. So at least it seems like it's coming down. We're still in a range where total unemployed population was at 1.93 million through the week of September 13th. Again, slightly down, but you can obviously see a trend that job creation has slowed sharply since the beginning of the year. Unemployment rate has climbed only modestly, which is leaving some questions in the air about what the Federal Reserve is going to do moving forward as far as interest rates and how that impacts our business and the cleaning business in general and just overall business. The good news is GDP came in strong last week at 3.8% versus 3.3%. So that's a pretty big gap increase. So that's showing we're still seeing some economic growth. Again, we just don't know going forward how all the tariffs and how that's all going to impact, pricing across the board.
Well, now we have a new tariff on, film. So, it's going to cost you more to go to the movies. You already had to take out a small loan to go to the movies. So now it's going to be even more.
Yeah, I did see that. I saw that report. I think that came out yesterday. But again, we don't really know how it's going to impact us right now. It seems to be, everything seems to be holding up. Fed did lower their rate last week by 25 basis points. So that was the first cut since December of 2024. It wasn't a huge cut. Some economists were expecting, maybe 50 basis points. The Fed will meet again here in October to determine the path forward. Probability right now, I think, of a cut is like 93% that there's going to be another cut. So we'll see what happens there. I did see a report, kind of projection of mortgage rates, because that's the Fed's funds rate is kind of tied to the mortgage industry and how you refinance and interest rates and how businesses can go get money to make investment in their business. A lot of them have put that on hold. They want to see kind of that future projection of Fed rate cut which we should see a couple more hopefully this year, give a little bit more certainty around the business environment and the business life cycle, so people can determine, how to appropriately disperse their capital, whether it's in the workforce, whether it's in technology, and everything that keeps a business running.
Well,
It's kind of tied to those interest rates.
it's hard to make those decisions now if you think there's going to be another cut with the Fed, right? You don't want to do anything now when you could get a better interest rate by just waiting a little bit. So I think it kind of makes everybody in limbo about what
Yeah, and
to do.
that's Yeah, true, and that's kind of goes to that mortgage, what they expect for mortgage rates. I think over the next 5 years, even with the Fed funds rate going down to maybe that 2.5, 2.7% range, mortgage rates are only expected by 2029 to get down to like 6.1%, which is it kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense because you think back 3, 4, 5 years ago when basically the benchmark was at 0% and money was free. Everyone was getting mortgages for 2.5 to 3% in that range. So it's just kind of wild to see how they project it out over 5 years. So if you're sitting on the sidelines waiting, it's not going to pay. It's not going to pay dividends for you because there's not going to be a huge move unless there's a major downturn in the overall economy, which again, we don't have a crystal ball, so we can't determine what that's going to be. The other good news, what we have, we had CPI was 2.7% year over year. PPI was 2.6% year over year. You're starting to see wages. Wages are still on the rise, slowing down. The trend is that they're slowing down. They're not increasing as fast as they were over the last couple of years, but they still continue to increase. You're starting to see somewhat of a flattening or stabilization of the PPI pulp, recycled paper, chemical manufacturing, soaps and detergents, resins, uh, polyethylene. Those, if you look at our market commentary and you just look at the graph, you can start to see it sort of flatline. Um, Hopefully, as interest rates go down, we start to see that come down. We start seeing some price relief in the overall market, but history has shown that's never the case. Goes up quick, it's always slower to come
Yeah,
back
it
down
stays
if
up.
it
Once
ever
it goes up, it
if it
stays
ever
up.
comes down. Yeah, so that'll be something to watch out for. We'll also want to look at oil. It's pretty much been range bound this year between $60 and $70 a barrel. Basically supply and demand. Uh, we'll see when OPEC meets again what they do. If they increase production to kind of drive supply. I feel like the that sweet spot where the oil companies are starting making, where they make the most profit margin is around that $70 to $80. So you may see them cut production to try to get some increase in the pricing pressure there. Freight edged up, but there's still a short supply of drivers. Um, there's just not as many drivers as there was 3, 4, 5 years ago. So you're starting to see kind of a recession within that industry, which does impact our overall business, right? If you have to pay
Sure.
additional for freight and surcharge,
Yeah.
that just cuts into your margin.
All those supplies and chemicals have to get moved somehow from point A to point B. So,
Yeah, it's it's pretty fascinating to see everything take shape over the last year. We can see, um, consumer spending. It's just another key metric, right? Because 70% of the U.S. economy is made up by, you know, the consumer. So when they pull back on spending, that drives less demand, increased supply. So you could see some pricing relief from that aspect. But so far, consumers are spending. They're not tightening their pockets. They're going out. They're still going to dinner. They're still going to the movies, even though some stuff may be coming down the pipeline that may increase all that. But
well,
um,
and we're getting ready to come into the holiday season, right? We're moving into fourth quarter where typically consumer spending is high anyway because of everybody buying for the holidays and preparing for that. So I definitely don't see people spending less. I think we're getting ready to spend more. So
Yeah, typically that's the case. You start to see all the promotions. I'm sure you're seeing the commercials now, advertising for Christmas and uh, Thanksgiving and all that. So that they're the commercial, they're out there pushing it, right?
oh
They
yeah,
want you to
it's
spend
out. All
more.
the Christmas stuff is all out in the stores now.
I mean, I think in June, July, you were starting to see even at the stores like all the Halloween candy.
Yeah.
You start seeing all that stuff, and it's just
It,
it gets earlier and earlier every
it
year. But
does. It gets earlier. It speeds time up so much because by the time the holiday gets here, you're kind of sick of it because you've been seeing it for 6 months. It's been in the store for 6 months. So it kind of just I don't know, it loses some of the glossiness, I guess, of the marketing for a holiday. So we get fatigue, shoppers fatigue.
yeah, well, hopefully everyone feels confident with the economy and we don't see a slowdown. But you know, that was one of the concerns from the Fed, from Jerome Powell, that you're going to see stagflation, where um, you start to see, slower growth, but an uptick in inflation, right? So you have inflation going up, but you have slower growth. So now you're just literally at a flatline economy where there's no movement. That's even worse than an
Right.
overall recession. So when there's a recession, they have the tools to kind of go in and make adjustments and get things back on track. But when stagflation hits, like it did in the 80s, there's definitely some concern there, and there's some key indicators that are showing some mixed signals that that's what's taking place. But again, will be Monday morning quarterbacking when all that data comes out to take a look and see where we're at. Um, but all in all, I think everything's good. I mean, we just sent out, or we'll be sending out an updated tariff impact for the NSA with all of our manufacturing partners, and it seems like everything's stabilizing.
Yeah, we're not seeing the kind of tariff increases that we were earlier this year. Things have definitely slowed down, and I think I think from the manufacturer standpoint, they all seem to be doing more of a let's wait and see kind of uh, pattern right now. We're not nobody's putting out increases, nobody's doing anything drastic, and I think everybody's just kind of holding their breath to see what comes next. So
Yeah,
which is good for us because there's not a lot of change and there's no increases and that makes everybody happy. Nobody wants to spend more on supplies.
yeah. The key word is going to be stabilization, which I think we're seeing some. We just have to keep an eye out for you know an uptick in inflation as we move forward, especially with any impact from the tariffs that may or may not come.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Well, that's
Anything else you want to add to that? That's basically the summary of our market commentary. Just touching on everything that we're taking a look at. If you haven't seen the market commentary, reach out to one of us. We can get it over to you. We send it out monthly. I get that updated around the 20th of every month whenever I see the government data come in. So we can get that updated, get that out to you. Um, share with your end user, share with everyone. It's not proprietary. It's just data that's readily available that I try to put in an easy format to read and help you out. So
yeah, Ryan just compiles all of this information that's already out there and available, but unless you knew what you were looking for and knew where to go, then you may be hard to put that together. So he does that for our members, and we share it out just to give them that kind of insight and help them a little bit as they're having conversations with their customers as well. So as Ryan said, if you're interested in it, if you're an NSA member, reach out to your contact at NSA and they can make sure you're getting it. If you're not an NSA member, why not? You need to join. Reach out to Debbie, DEBBIE, at nansa.org, or Ryan, RYAN, at nansa.org. Reach out to one of us and we'll tell you all about the NSA if you're not familiar and why you should be a part of it.
And there you have it.
All right. Well, I think we got one in the books for National Podcast Day, so I'm happy about that. And we'll stay tight until the next time. Hope everybody has a great week this week.
Yep. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Beyond the broom.